As promised, I'd like to go through the difference quotient a couple more times with a couple of more different functions so you can kind of get used to some ideas. The next function is still quadratic, but there's a little bit more going on. So again, I gave you the function, right? That's one thing we need. What's the function? And then the next thing I need to do is figure out, well, what's the function, right? What's that equal to when I replace the x with x plus h? So going through that, we get that. Again, this is going to FOIL out. We've already done that, so I'm going to cut to the chase. That FOILs out to that. Distributing the 2, we get that. And then looking around for anything that's like, I don't actually see anything that's like. So there is f of x plus h. So when it comes to the difference quotient, the first thing I need to do is replace what we just found. So this is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 2x minus 2h minus 3. We're going to subtract whatever the function is. So that's right there, x squared minus 2x minus 3. And then of course we get to divide that all by h. So you find each piece. Really it's just finding that piece. That's already given. H is just h. And then you just got to find that, plug everything in. Distributing back here, we get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 2x minus 2h minus 3 minus x squared plus 2x plus 3 all over h. The x squareds, right, will go away. Looks like I have a negative 2x and a plus 2x, and I have a minus 3 and a plus 3. So cleaning this up, we have 2 times xh plus h squared minus 2h all over h. Of course, upstairs there's a factor of h that's common. So I'll factor that out. That divides out with that. And so we're left with 2x plus h minus 2. And so for that function, there's what the difference quotient is equal to. So it's slightly different than the other one we just did. All right, so hopefully we're getting the mechanics. Let me throw a fraction at you guys. All right, so let's say we have the function, all right, f of x is equal to 1 over x. All right, so there's the function. We're already given that. And then we need to find, right, what is f of x plus h? Well, easy enough. We just replace that x with x plus h. So there's that. So going to my difference quotient, let me rewrite it over here. Right, I replace this with what I found it to be. Subtract f of x, which we know it to be, all over h. So there is our first round of the difference quotient. So what's next is we got to clean that up. And I think lots of ways to do this here, but one way is just go back to our review. We essentially have to subtract fractions up here. And upstairs, the LCD is x and x plus h, right? That's a factor and that's a factor. So cleaning, we got x times x for the first one. And for this next one, we need x plus h, x plus h. And of course, this is still all over h. Nice and fun. So here we get x over x, x plus h, minus, right, we have x plus h all over x, x plus h, all over h. Okay, now again, be very careful, right, because we're subtracting. That means everybody up here gets subtracted. So on the top, we have x minus h all over x plus h, and that's still all over h. The x's go away, so we're left with a negative h all over x, x plus h, right, all over h. Whew. Okay, looking at this next part, how about I write h over 1? And you can see what I'm basically doing is taking a fraction and dividing it by a fraction. So I have negative h all over x, x plus h, and the way we multiply fractions, divide fractions, is we multiply by that guy's reciprocal. And finally, right, we have some h's going away. Upstairs, right, we end up with negative 1, and this is all over x times x plus h. So if my function is 1 over x, right, here is what the difference quotient is equal to, right? And using a lot of former algebra ideas, right? Everything I did up in the numerator is things we did during our review session the very first week together. We're basically subtracting rational expressions, and then here we're dividing rational expressions. So hopefully again you see yet again, right, how math keeps building on itself. So make sure you understand things that we do previously, because we are going to be using them. So there's your difference quotient. More on this, more details when we actually get to 3.3 later in the week. So there you have it. That wraps up 3.1. Finally, like I told you, lots of ideas. We took 2 weeks, basically in 2 parts, right, to officially cover 3.1. So it's officially done. As usual, if you have questions, please ask. Jump on Canvas and ask. Ask for some office hour time, whatever the case might be. Do your homework, get your quizzes done, and I'll see you guys on Canvas.